Hey, everybody. I feel bad being the one to welcome everybody because I'm the one who has not been here for a while. But
That's okay.
welcome
We're
to,
glad you're back.
I know, I'm glad I'm back too. Welcome to The Pulse, where we talk about all things roadmap. I guess I'm not going to steal thunder and start. I'll let Tom start. How about that? You guys never know who I'm
Oh,
going to call on, but Tom,
no, we do
what
not.
what do you think about what is in development?
What are all my yellow lines on our spreadsheet? And we're starting off with the in development. I'm going to go ahead and cover one topic, which I think is about 6 items because they're all related.
Oh, I know
Have
which one it is.
SharePoint site built-in agents.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I had to look it up because I'm like, a SharePoint site built-in agent. What is a built-in agent? Well, I did find out a built-in agent basically is a Copilot AI agent that they have assigned to a site. And when they set these up automatically when the site's built, they actually scope those particular agents to just the content on that site. So if you have a site where you have a document library where you're installing policy and procedures, things like that, if you have this chat bot basically that's now being run from that SharePoint site, it's going to be answering questions based on those policy and procedures. You don't have to do a lot of setup, even though you apparently do have the way to go in and, modify the agent and the whole bit. But there's a number of things that are coming out. These are all for worldwide. I know that the government tenants don't really have Copilot running full bore. But the first one is SharePoint Sites built-in agent. This allows the built-in SharePoint agent on a site to be shared and used in Teams. So that's a good thing if you've got a team site where you want to be, hey, go ahead and ask questions as policy procedure agent, and you'll get your answers back from there. Second one was agent usage statistics per SharePoint site. This means that you will be able to see an analytics page for the site owner persona. This will also include analytics on how many times source files are cited. So this will be a good idea or a good thing to see exactly how people are using these, or even if they're using those. So the first one was due in March. This one's due in May. Then we have edit SharePoint sites built-in agents. So this allows the built-in SharePoint agent to be edited without having to create a new agent for the site. So this means that you can probably go in and put some requirements into the agent that basically says, okay, I've scoped it for this whole thing, exclude this particular document library over here. So you can start to do some of the things you can do when you make like custom chat bots where you put requirements in and start to put the guardrails in place. That is due in May. Then scrolling down to the last three on our list, which are also for this particular topic, SharePoint agents in Teams Mobile. So this is being able to use SharePoint agents in Team Mobile group chats in meetings. So this is probably tied a little bit to the first one where they'll say, hey, you can now use these agents in Teams. That's in June. Then we have SharePoint agents are available in the Teams App Store. So now you can go ahead and have these things set where people can go out and say, hey, I want to add this to my particular Teams client, which is a good thing. So everybody doesn't necessarily have to have it on their sidebar, but they can go get it if they want to. That's due in March. And then finally, add multiple SharePoint agents in team chats and meetings. So users can include more than one SharePoint agent as a participant in a Teams chat or meeting, which is kind of interesting. I'll be interested to see how that plays out. And that is due in June. I will now take a deep breath and hand it to my two colleagues.
Well, thank you. Thank you for telling us about agents. It sounds like a lot of stuff is
Yeah,
coming out there, and I think that's really going to help us take Copilot to the next level. So
yeah.
excited to see
And the fact
where
it's
that
built in,
goes.
you can just start
Mm-hmm.
using it too. So that's good.
Yep, absolutely. How about you, Tamara?
I've got a couple things. Microsoft Teams speaker recognition and attribution in team rooms on Android. So now, or in April of 2025, you'll be able to take advantage of speaker recognition, transcript attribution, and AI capabilities in Teams rooms on Android. Intelligent speaker functionalities are brought to existing speakers via the cloud.
Via the cloud.
Did we lose her?
Uh-oh, did she freeze?
Yeah, I think she froze.
Okay, well, I'll go on with a couple because she's probably coming back. So one that I really liked was Microsoft Copilot. um, Recap changes over time for Loop. So if you're in Loop, it currently is that you're limited to the current session, what's changed since I was last in here. But now you're going to get a recap of what's changed over time, which is really great with Loop because
Yeah.
that's the whole purpose of using it and knowing it. So I'm excited to see that. That looks like that's coming out in March. And then we have Copilot uses enterprise assets hosted in Templify when creating presentations with Copilot. So when you connect your asset library hosted with Templify to Microsoft 365 and Copilot, you'll be able to create images with the organization's images, create presentations with those images. So those are just ways that you can go in and make it easier for people to make presentations that you want them to use.
So is
So I think
Templify like a third-party tool or something?
I think
I
it
don't think I've
is.
ever
I
heard of
think it
that.
is.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, I don't know if I know a whole ton about that either, so
Okay.
I'm gonna go. I don't. Microsoft hasn't come out with a new product with it, so I'm gonna
Okay.
assume it's a third party.
Makes sense.
But I've heard of third party template things, so
Okay.
it makes sense to me.
Sounds good.
I think Tamara is moving again. Um, I think the
Tamara's
only
moving. Tamara can hear you, but Tamara can't see anything because all of her monitors are black.
Oh,
okay.
wonderful.
Well, I'll do one last one from in development, and then we'll pass it to Tom if he has anything else. But
Sounds
I
good.
had report a message for external collaboration in one-on-one group and meeting chats. And so you know how you're in email and you can support or report a, hey, this doesn't look right. This looks like a security thing. This looks like a spam. This looks bad. You can now do that, or you will be able to do that in May inside of Teams messages. And I think that's important as more things pop up like that. It's a huge part of training and getting people to, when something doesn't look right, say something. And so I don't know what that will totally look like, if it's going to be a button or what that's going to be, but that will be available for folks.
Sounds good. I don't have any more on the in development, so we can go on to rolling out.
Yeah, that sounds great. Tamara, are you still in the black? She looks frozen. So she is going to get a great intro screenshot this week on her thing. That's all I can say. It's going to be epic. But yeah, why don't you go ahead and tell us what is currently rolling out?
We just hope that she can actually finish the recording here. I will pick 3 here that I have right together. One is Outlook. Add shared folders to favorites in the new Outlook for Windows hashtag. So customers will have the ability to add shared folders to their favorites. This allows them to actually be in conjunction with the other things that they have out there too. So that's something that's going to be available actually starting in February, so this month, and it's coming out to all the tenants, GCC, GCC High, DoD, and commercial. Then we have SharePoint flexible layouts. I'm actually looking forward to seeing this one. This is a new flexible layout section, allows authors to build pages without the strict column structure. Web parts can be dynamically resized and moved within the flexible sections. I think that is going to present some interesting opportunities for page layouts, and some people are going to abuse it to no end. You're going to think this is just like somebody threw up on the page with all the web parts.
I don't know. They've done a really great job of keeping you in the rails on modern pages. I mean, they've done a great job of keeping you where they need you to be for everything to be visually good, accessible, all of those things. So I don't see us taking a step backwards, honestly.
Good. And then the last one I want to bring up was Microsoft Teams improved Microsoft list links in Teams messages. So now the links that you get in Teams, including list item links and form links, will now unfurl when shared in team messages, making them easier to find and access within Teams messages and inside shared tabs in chats. So just the fact that you'll be able to do more in context type things without having to say, oh, here's a link, click this, go somewhere else, look at it, now find your way back. You're going to have a lot more of that in context within Teams, and you're going to be able to see everything. So that's coming out this month, and it is for worldwide, so it doesn't look like it's coming to the government tenants yet.
Yeah, not surprising. But there are some cool things coming to government tenants. So there
And
are
why don't you cover with
things
those?
coming. So we have approvals within DoD and approvals within GCCH. So Teams approval workflow will work in GCCH and DoD. So that's something that I know people have been waiting for, as well as Copilot in Teams meetings for GCC. So not GCCH yet, but GCC. So we're getting a little step closer. And so I think that that's great. That'll be there. I had just a couple of other ones that I thought were interesting. One was Microsoft Teams navigate meetings and respond using CarPlay. And so I think that's something that if people have, used CarPlay with Teams and they're like, oh, I can't reply. I can't, there's some things that it leaves some things to be desired. We're getting new features. So I think that is really great that one's coming. I don't think that's going to be a big game changer for anyone, but it is going to be a big delighter for people who are on the road all the time and are using that feature. And then the only other one that I had was the together mode, a new flow. So I think what that means is they're just going to make it easier for people to pick a together mode, maybe understand that they're applying it to everybody. So, maybe you don't put everybody in a fish tank or a Star Trek, office in the middle of the afternoon. So, or in the middle of the meeting. So that's happening there, and that is in the process of rolling out now.
Cool. And it sounded like, too, they were going to walk you through the process of, okay, where's everybody going to sit? Who gets to sit where? Like, really, people? Really? So, yeah, I'm sure there's organizations where that's important and the CEO has to be in front and the whole bit. I get it.
I don't think it has to do with that as much as the use case that I've heard it for where it makes sense is when you're doing a board meeting or something like that, where, the president, the secretary, like where there is a structure of where they need to sit.
That actually does make sense, yeah.
That's where I've heard the use case of where it matters, or if they're like in a medical situation, like not a trial's not the right word, but like a reporting structure where it makes sense, where people are sitting out in front of people.
You've got a panel up above, and then you've got your attendees down here.
Yeah, like you might have somebody who's the speaker and somebody who's taking notes, and they both have to be there and they both have to be visible, but that you want to highlight who's doing what. So I actually had heard some use cases that were more than, somebody wants to be at the head of the table. So
Bob doesn't want to sit next to Tony.
I think there's some there. Yeah, right. Like, that's. I don't think it's all like that. Well, cool. Do you have anything else for that one?
No, I do not.
Okay. Well, I'll kick us off for launched. I have just really two. So shared folders and mailboxes in the new Outlook for Windows, and so you can see how your shared mailboxes are now displayed is back to how it was in the old Outlook. I'm really excited about that because you can have, so if you've got connected accounts and your primary account and then you have other connected accounts, it just makes it so like you can see everything that's shared there without it being confusing. I don't know if you use much shared folders.
No, I don't, but actually I just noticed the last three on this blue section here, last three are actually canceled.
Oh.
So the one that you just covered is canceled. Fortunately, though, the explanation did not go for not, because it says at the very end, this feature will be merged with feature blah, 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 blah. So it's a duplicate. You're going to get it anyway. But yeah, for some reason, those didn't catch. And the last
that makes sense that they're canceled because the other two were Glint. And I was like, Glint went away. So why are we rolling out new features? So now that makes more sense. We color coded. Well, then if we're going back to launched, I only had two, and that was Viva Learning. You can edit learning paths and you can duplicate your Copilot Academy, the learning path there, you can duplicate that and customize it. So they're doing some things to make that a little easier inside of Viva Learning, as well as some, I guess it looks like they have some custom branding and different things like that that you can do. So basically, Viva Learning's getting a little bit of love with some new features coming out. Again, I don't know that any of them are things that I would consider
no.
make or break, but if you're using Viva Learning, you're probably going to be like, good, I can finally do this.
Yeah.
So, how about you? Is there anything else? I think I just managed to steal all of
You
launched
pretty much
and
did, and
all
I
of
didn't have
canceled.
anything. I didn't have anything
So-
highlighted anyway, but I'll just go ahead and mention the one preview item that they have out there. That is data lifecycle management, general availability of Microsoft partner data connectors for T-Mobile and HKSCL, which I believe is Hong Kong. So these connectors will support ingestion for T-Mobile and HKCSL data to user mailboxes and make them available for compliance purposes. So there you go.
Awesome. Well, welcome back, Tamara. Is there
Thank
anything?
you.
Is there anything
I
you'd
missed
like
you
to
while
add?
I was gone.
I'll come over and say hi when we're done, okay?
Thank you. I'm feeling lonely.
I'm sorry you have so many issues with your computer today. I bet they'll be
I just
very
have issues.
fixed very soon.
I
Very
just have
soon.
issues. You don't have to narrow it down to computer.
Well, you guys have a wonderful Monday, and I
Thank
will
you.
talk with you guys later. Thanks,
Wonderful.
everybody.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.